another chance and another word that I am about to give. Some of the power and the presence that makes preaching easy. And if you do, we'll give you all the glory and the praise. Let all your people say, amen. Amen. Look what God can do. For those of you who like sports, you know that there is an expression for older players that states Father Time is catching up to you. This means that you are getting old and closer to retirement. The older you get, the more likely you will come across some younger player or star to replace you. Those of you who keep up with the times may remember that Michael Jordan was one of the greatest basketball players, if not the greatest basketball player of all time. But he had a successor in Kobe Bryant, and Kobe was actually chasing him at his heels. Kobe was one of the greatest players of all time as well, and now we see that he has LeBron James at his neck. Saul had David to come behind him, and in this story, we know that David later becomes king, but the entire story of David makes you look and say, look what God can do. Who is David, first of all, and why is he so important? But David was the one who was chosen by God and anointed by Samuel instead of his 7 other brothers. He was the 8th son of Jesse, and David was the one who would play on the harp and depart the evil spirit from Saul. He was the one who defeated Goliath, the champion of Gath. He was the one who ran to Gath and pretended to be a crazy man to cover his escape. This was David, the one who twice showed mercy to Saul, the one who was trying to have him captured. Look what God can do. God raised him from a shepherd boy to a king. He protected him from his enemies and gave him good friends. God was with David all of his life. That did not mean that he was what he was without struggles. David was just coming from defeating the giant Goliath, and now he has to deal with another problem. Young people, when you get through one challenge, know that there is another one that may be waiting. David wasn't liked by the king at all the time. Haters will come into your life. Sometimes they are the ones you look up to or the ones you are close to. The question is, how will you handle them and how will you deal with them? 1, don't pay much attention. Don't give them much of your attention. Haters love attention. That's why King Saul was hating David, because women ran into the streets singing and dancing, but it was the song that they were singing that got Saul so upset. They said, Saul has slain or killed his thousands, and David has killed his 10,000s. Saul was jealous. Haters will do anything to bring you down to where they are. Saul tried to kill David several times. Each time, David escaped. Haters will go as low as to try to kill your dreams, your future, your kids, and whatever else of your possessions that they can get their hands on. Haters hate because they are afraid of you. The Bible says Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with David and had departed from Saul. David wasn't the only person in the Bible that we can say God was with, and I'm almost through. God was also with Joseph. He took him from the pit to the palace. God was with Joseph when he lost all he had, but God restored it, and several times over. God was with Daniel, who was protected from death in the den of the lions. That God was with Noah, who built an ark and saved the world by being obedient to God. God was with Samson when he regained his place with God by reclaiming his place with God, and many others. God was with them, and because of the outcome of their stories, we can look and say, look what God can do. And I'm almost through, but at my church we sang a song that I believe fits this celebration. If I can quote the writer, Bishop Jeff Banks, he says, look what God has done. Mastermind is he. Look what God has done. Omnipotent is he. He placed the stars and the moon into space, creating the whole human race. Look what God has done. Mastermind is he. Look what God can do. on your way.